When learning about the music business, it can be so overwhelming because there's so many different components to it. And when you're younger, you just think, wow, this music's made, it's amazing. I didn't even know that there were other songwriters writing songs for artists. I just assumed the person singing that they made up that song and that's how it was. It's kind of a mystical view of the music business until you're inside the business and you start to learn about it. So it can be extremely overwhelming. Today, I want to talk to you about 5 ways to cope with that feeling of being overwhelmed. I've found it works for me, and I think it can work for you. Let's dive in. Welcome to the License Your Music podcast, where I'm here to give you all the tools you need to license your music to film, TV, ads, video games, trailers, and more, so that you can earn passive income and obtain creative freedom. I'm your host, Jody Friedman. Thanks so much for spending your time with me today. Whether you're watching with me here on YouTube or you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, I appreciate you so much tuning in. And if you haven't been by our site, come by licenseyourmusic.com, download our free guide on how to get heard by music supervisors, and get on our list so you're made aware of future offerings. We've got a ton of free content we provide regularly, so make sure you get on that. Today I want to talk about feeling overwhelmed. This is a feeling that happens not just to artists, but to people. We take on a lot, we try to do a lot of different things, as we must, especially as adults. You have a job, you got to pay the bills, you got to take care of your friends and your family and your pets. And while doing all this, you have to make money. You have to find a way to make money to survive. And when it comes to music licensing in particular, which is what I teach, it can be overwhelming because there's a lot that you have to learn. So what I've done is put it all in one place, the business part of licensing. I put that all in one place by having my music licensing masterclass to make it easy for you to get it all in one place. So come by and check that out. But that will help you, I think, with simplifying all that's overwhelming. It's all in one place for you to digest. But today we're going to talk about 5 ways for you to cope with feeling overwhelmed. A lot of times when I put these things together, it's just as much an exercise for myself as it is for you. So these are things that I picked up over the past 40 years on this earth, and I want to share them with you because they've helped me in times when I felt overwhelmed. And anyone who knows me knows that I do a lot of different things. I wear a lot of different hats. So I feel overwhelmed quite often. And these are ways that I deal with them that I think would be helpful for you to have. So let's talk through them. 5 ways to cope with feeling overwhelmed. The number one thing you can do, the number one way to cope, is breathing. Stop what you're doing and just breathe. You breathe in, you count to 3, you hold your breath for a few seconds, and you exhale. It sounds so silly, but it's so true. Just breathing. Breathe in, hold your breath, exhale. It's a form of meditation. It's a way to get in connection with your body again, from your body and your mind to your breathing. It's all connected. So breathe in, hold it, exhale. And you should feel a bit more relaxed than you were even a minute ago. I know I am. So that's one thing you can do. When you feel overwhelmed, just breathe. There's other ways that you can relax and ways that you'll naturally breathe. Meditation is one of them. Anyone who practices meditation, that's a great way to do it. Yoga is a form of meditation. Walking in nature, just taking a walk outside. I find when I go out to walk around, I just step away, even if it's 4 or 5 minutes, just walking around the block here. The oxygen starts to get pumping, it starts flowing to my brain, the synapses are going, I start to think about things that I need to do. They come in a clear picture for me. And when I get back from a walk, I have a clear vision of what I need to do next. And in the day and age of sitting in front of computers and playing on technology, it's really important to disconnect and to just breathe and walk and relax. For some people, it might be dancing. Put on your favorite song and just dance. Have a dance party. Go for a drive through the mountains, drive through the hills, drive down the street, whatever it might be, to calm your mind and calm your body and bring things into focus. So breathing is such a huge part of it. That's the number one way to cope with feeling overwhelmed, and the first step before we do anything else. So the next step that helps me is to try to pinpoint what's identifying this feeling of being overwhelmed. If I have a lot of tasks, a lot of to-do lists, things, I try to pinpoint what the number one or number two and number three thing is. I list them out. I make a list. So write it down. Take note of what it is. If it's you have to walk the dog and you haven't done it today, write it down. Walking the dog. Or for me today, I need to call the vet for my dog. I need to call the vet. I need to call an internist and make him an appointment. And I have it written down right here in front of me on an iPad that I have to do that because it needs to get done. There's other projects I have going on and some that take priority over others. And I found a way to manage those projects, and we're gonna get into that in a little bit here. But you make a list, you write it down, and you say, I'm feeling overwhelmed because of X, Y, and Z. I'm feeling overwhelmed because my boss needs me to turn in this project and it's due by Friday, and I don't know if I'm gonna get it done in time. Okay, write it down. I'm feeling overwhelmed because I haven't gone to the gym and I need to go to the gym and it's already 10 a.m. and I was supposed to be there at 8. Write it down. I'm feeling overwhelmed because I need to finish writing this song, and if I don't finish it in time, I'm going to miss the deadline. Write it down. So now, the next step. I want to take you to the next step. Delegation. Finding people that can help you with these tasks. And what we just wrote down, those three things, those are little tasks. And you then have to prioritize those things yourself. But when you find delegation, when you find help, when you hire an intern or a friend, if a friend's willing to help you, or if you're actually hiring someone to be staff, part-time or full-time, someone to walk your dog for you. Can you do that? If you hire someone to walk your dog, it will cost you money, but that money you're spending is time that you're dedicating elsewhere. So you have to weigh that time. It could be a 30-minute savings by getting someone to walk your dog. You then have 30 minutes of time to work, and that work produces income. So that's something to consider. Going to the gym, you have to ask yourself, okay, I didn't get there by 8 a.m. Am I going to make it today? Can I get there by 2 p.m.? And if so, you're going to set a deadline. Put it on your calendar. And that's part of this. That's the next step here, is scheduling and planning. So let's go ahead and ease into that, because all of these steps, they tie together. So, let's recap first, okay? Number 1, breathing. Number 2, identifying what's causing your stress. What are the main things that are causing you to feel overwhelmed? Write them down. Delegate those tasks to somebody who can help you. Delegation is such an important part. I am so bad at that, and I'm 13 years into business, maybe 14 years, and I'm just now starting to delegate because I've always felt like I could do it myself. Why would I hire someone to do it? I can do it myself. And as a result, I become my own bottleneck. I am keeping my company from growing because I can only do so much, so I have to delegate. So I've started bringing help. I made my first hire recently, and I have help people that are helping me as a trade for getting full access to my courses, people that I'm paying, and it's just been so helpful. Even if it's something I know I can do, like graphic design, I like doing my own graphic design. Sometimes it takes me 2 hours to finish a project. So having a graphic designer that I'm paying $50 to for those 2 hours of work, it's worth it for me because I can work on other things. So finding people to delegate those tasks to is key to your success. Number 4, scheduling and planning. And if you've listened to my podcast before, if you've seen me talk before, I've talked about this before. You have to set expectations for yourself. You have to schedule things, and you have to try to plan things at least 1 or 2 weeks out. So remember when you were a kid and everything was scheduled for you? Your parents would schedule play dates and school and dance rehearsal and soccer practice or basketball or baseball or hockey or whatever you played. They would schedule that time for you to go to these things. We kind of stopped doing that. A lot of us just stopped doing that when we're adults because it was done for us as kids. At least that was my situation, and I stopped scheduling things until recently. As adults, we need to schedule time for ourselves. And this could be anything like writing a song, practicing my instrument, spending time with my family, doing the laundry, washing dishes, going to the grocery store, sending out that contract, sales, marketing, pitching, accounting, creative, whatever it is, you need to schedule time for it and plan it. And here's a tip for you to block out time and block out your schedule by days. So what I do is on Mondays, I'm creating content. This content I'm creating today is a Monday. I'm creating it on a Monday because I have it blocked out for today. In fact, it was scheduled for earlier today, and I had to shift. I had to shift my schedule because we had people here at the house that were working, making a lot of noise, so I couldn't do it earlier today. So what did I do? I swapped my schedule. My later afternoon elements ended up being my morning elements, and then this creation right now, this content creation is happening in 2 or 3 in the afternoon, and that's now what I'm doing today. So I'm still getting it done because it was scheduled. It was on the schedule. Tomorrow, I have scheduled for pitching. All day tomorrow, I'm going to be pitching, sales, sales, sales. For me, for what I do as a publisher, as a licensing representative, and some other projects I have going on, I have to pitch. I have to try to sell my product. I do a soft sell approach, which we'll talk about in another project, or come by the site and you can learn more about that. Wednesdays. I reserved this week, Wednesdays, for accounting because I have my accounting week this week. It's February. It's tax season. It's my accounting period. So Wednesday is reserved for accounting. I blocked out the day. Thursday, marketing. For me, that means social media efforts, mailing lists, newsletters, email blasts, any type of marketing that I can do on Clubhouse, on Facebook, on Instagram, on LinkedIn. Thursday's the day to do it. On Friday, I have scheduled to keep it loose. So I leave one day on my schedule that I can adapt. The reason being, I have a TV project I'm working on that's changing week by week. So I need to leave my schedule loose. So I might be able to shift Thursday to Friday if I have to, or Wednesday to Friday. I can move stuff around. But you can do whatever you want. And even on the weekends, guys, Saturday, make breakfast for the family. Saturday, schedule time, go to the beach with my daughter. Saturday or Sunday morning, clean the downstairs bathrooms. Whatever it might be, you've got to schedule time and plan it out appropriately. Practice your instrument, learn a new plugin, write a song, anything. Sending an email to someone, if there's someone that I think I need to send an email to this person, I put in my schedule, make sure to send an email to John. And then when I see that pop up that day, oh yeah, I got to send an email to John. So here's a bonus tip for you. I use a website called Calendly. I've been using it for about 6 months now, and I just love it. I can go on there. I can create a schedule based on my week to week. My Mondays, I leave completely blocked off so I can work on creative. Tuesdays through Fridays, I set my availability. So Tuesday, I'm available between 10 and 2. Wednesdays, 10 and 2. Thursdays, noon and 4. Fridays, noon and 4, right? And then what I do is, this is just an example. What I do is I send out calendar links. Anyone who's tried to calendar time with me before or recently, you'll see that I send you a Calendly link. What that does is it brings up a calendar for you, and then you get to pick a time that works for you. So it's convenient for you instead of us having to coordinate schedules, and it's convenient for me because I can block out time and make time for meetings. So what I'm doing is actually scheduling time for my meetings. So it's a fantastic tool, and you can change it if you look ahead to future dates. Like I blocked out my kids' birthdays. I block those days out. I am unavailable on those days. I do it in Calendly. So you don't need to know it's my kids' birthdays. All you see is the calendar link and you pick a date that works for you. It's all about what works for you, and Calendly allows you to do that. So it's a great thing. You can create one schedule for all your things and use that one schedule to calendar all your time. And it does sync with Apple Calendars or Fantastical or whatever you have. I think Acuity is another one. I know some friends use Acuity, so I'd recommend that as well. Let's recap. 5 ways to cope with feeling overwhelmed. Breathing. Identifying what is causing this overwhelming feeling. Delegate something. Delegate. Take something off your plate and give it to someone else, something that you are not essential for. And you'd be surprised. When you start delegating to the right people, you'll be surprised at what they can do, and that you weren't needed for that all along. And you might think you are, but you're not. Scheduling and planning, such a crucial part of it. Number 5, let go of control. This is key to not feeling overwhelmed. For those that believe in a higher power, you've already given in to the fact that we're not fully in control of what happens here on this earth. It's the same thing with your business and life. And, control gives us a feeling of comfort and safety because we're taught that as a baby. You're taken care of as a baby. Your world is protected by your parents. Everything is being controlled for you. And you have to understand that it's not all in your control. And as an adult, I think a lot of us realize that. And when it comes to running a business, there's some things you can control and some things you can't. And you have to let go of the things that you can't control. And you can't do it all. You can't control, every little aspect of each marketing campaign or each graphic design element or, all the mixes on every piece that you're mixing. You have to let some things go. Something's got to give along the way to allow you to shine and focus on what you do best. For me, that's content creation. I love creating content. I'm a creative person, whether it's a song or a script or this podcast, whatever it is, I just love creating. That's where I shine. So all those other little things that I do enjoy doing, other people can do my graphic design. Other people can do my tracking, my editing, my audio editing, tagging metadata, all that stuff other people can do. So I'm now delegating those things. And you have to find the things that are causing you the most stress by writing them down and delegating them and letting go of that control and being willing to train that person how you prefer it to be done. That's completely okay. But you have to let go of some of your control to adapt to the way they work and let them shine and bring what they do best. So a great example, again, is with graphic design. I love doing graphic design. I'm good at it, but it's not my main thing. And I recently hired someone on Upwork, a site called Upwork. And I went through about 20 applicants. I saw his designs, and I loved what he had going on. Just overall, his design sensibilities are above mine, which is what I need in somebody. So I hired him. I'm going to pay him hourly. We're going to try a couple projects, and if all goes well, I'm going to start feeding him work regularly. And it's just going to be, instead of me sitting down for the next 2 hours and doing it, I take 2 minutes to craft an email to him. I send it off. He does the work. He delivers it the next day. Done. So much more efficient, so much less stress for me. So that's really it, guys. I gotta say, I've had 5 businesses that I'm a part of, and I have partners in those businesses. And for me to commit my time to them properly, I need to delegate. So this is what's brought me to this place where I'm able to break down these 5 ways of coping with feeling overwhelmed, because I've had to go through this myself. In the past 6 months since starting this course, which was, my 6th, it's part of my HD Music Now business, but it's my 6th business, and it's a lot. So I have to delegate, I have to bring in help. And these steps have really been helpful for me. It's allowed me to still continue doing what I do and participating in all 5-6 businesses that I have and being committed to my partners in those and still accomplishing the tasks at hand. So I hope you found this helpful. Thanks so much for listening and for tuning into the podcast or for watching with me here on YouTube. Leave your comments below. Let me know what you thought of this. Explain, maybe you want to list out some things that are overwhelming to you and the community here. We can talk about it. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, please leave us a review. That means a ton. Come by License Your Music. Download our free guide on how to get your music heard by music supervisors. Follow us at License Your Music on Facebook and Instagram. I think Facebook's the next thing. And come check us out on Clubhouse too. We have Sync Masters every Thursday at 5 p.m. Pacific. Stay cool. Peace.